Good afternoon, and welcome to this presentation of Major League Baseball and the Coliseum Sports Network. We are continuing on with our Coliseum Baseball Tournament. Just got done with the first game of this doubleheader on trade deadline Thursday. We saw the Nationals beat out the White Sox 5-2 in D.C., and so Washington will move on to face off against the uh, Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee, and the White Sox now in the losers bracket will go on to host the Miami Marlins, the number 7 seed. Those games will actually take place just around a week from now. So let's stay in the present here and get to our second game of our doubleheader, another 3-6 matchup, as it is the Los Angeles Dodgers playing host to the Minnesota Twins. Now, on paper, this should be a very interesting matchup because you have Kevin Correia on the mound for the Twins, who's been struggling this year to say the least, and you have Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers on the mound, probably having one of his best seasons, being his usual dominant self. But that's on paper. That's why we play the games. The Minnesota Twins currently are 48-58 coming into this tournament. That's good enough for fifth in the AL Central, albeit a very interesting AL Central with a lot of competitive games. And then the Los Angeles Dodgers are currently first in the National League West. It's going to be a hot one here from Los Angeles, but I'm going to be in an air-conditioned booth, so I'm not so much worried about that. Before we get into the lineups here, of course, like I said, it's trade deadline Thursday, so I'm going to go over some of the deals that affect teams that are in the tournament. I'll say that. Of course, the morning got off to a huge start with the Athletics, who are the number 1 seed in the West, getting John Lester, Johnny Gomes, and cash considerations from the Red Sox from Yoenis Cespedes, as well as a competitive balance pick. Got outfielder Sam Fuld from these very Twins. So Sam Fuld was going to be on the bench today for the Twins, but he moves on to Oakland to fill in a platoon spot along with Gomes over in left field to fill that hole now left by Cespedes. In return, the Twins get Tommy Milone, who right now is going to be in AAA Rochester. He's not going to be in the rotation, in the pitching rotation as one would expect, because Tommy Milone is a pretty good pitcher, but he's not going to be there to start things off. And you wonder how long the Twins are going to be in this tournament. We'll have to find out and see how all that unfolds. Another tournament team that got a big player was the Brewers. They pick up Gerardo Parra from the Diamondbacks for outfielder Mitch Haniger and pitcher Anthony Banda. So those were two minor leaguers, and so we won't have to worry about any Brewers not being in the tournament anymore, at least not for now. The Mariners and the Padres both did a deal, and so they're both in the tournament. Seattle will play tomorrow. San Diego fell into the losers bracket with that loss to the LA Angels. The Mariners get outfielder Chris Denorfia, who did not play in that first tournament game. And the Padres get outfielder Abraham Almonte, who may or may not have been in the game, and Stephen Colsheen, a pitcher. So once again, a little small deal, but we're just going to happen to notice some guys changing uniforms. And then another one that came down just as the Nationals-White Sox game completed. Shortstop Asdrubal Cabrera is going from Cleveland to Washington in exchange for Zach Walters, who was on the bench for the Nationals in that game, their 5-2 victory against the White Sox. But the big trade here that affects another couple of tournament teams, actually, in Seattle and Detroit, David Price, according to Ken Rosenthal, and I just before I got on the air saw this break on MLB Network, David Price going from Tampa, a non-tournament team, to Detroit to fill out their rotation tournament team, lost to the Cubs, so they're currently in the losers bracket, and we'll find out who they'll play somewhere down the line. Seattle is supposed to be getting Austin Jackson, and as I was getting on to air, that was all the details that I got, so be sure to consult your nearest baseball news website to get more information on that. But that's big news there, and if Detroit goes far in this tournament, we'll be sure to see DP wearing a script D on his uniform, or cursive D if they play on the road. That's neither here nor there. Let's get back here to Los Angeles and let's take a look at the lineups and see how this will shape out here on a beautiful day in LA. For the visiting Twins, leading off will be center fielder Danny Santana. Batting second will be the second baseman Brian Dozier. Batting third will be the third baseman Trevor Plouffe. Breaking the pattern is the first baseman Chris Colabello. He'll bat fourth, and he'll be in place of Chris Parmalee as well. Batting fifth will be the left fielder Josh Willingham. Batting sixth will be the right fielder Osvaldo Arcia. Batting seventh will be catcher Kurt Suzuki, who had some transaction talk not related to trades that we'll get to when he comes up to bat. Shortstop Eduardo Escobar will bat eighth, and this is an NL home game, so the starting pitcher Kevin Correia will not only be on the mound, but he will come up to bat. For the Dodgers, second baseman D. Gordon, of course, will lead off. Hanley Ramirez at shortstop will bat second. Yasiel Puig will play right and bat third. Adrian Gonzalez will play first and bat fourth. Matt Kemp will play left field and bat fifth. Andre Ethier will play center and bat sixth. Juan Uribe will play third and bat seventh. A.J. Ellis will play catcher and bat eighth. And then Clayton Kershaw, the lefty, will bat ninth. And so that's how it's shaping up to be here. It's going to be an interesting matchup to see if the paper matches the virtual reality. But that's why we play the game. I still think it's going to be a good one. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have Coliseum Tournament Baseball coming up shortly on the Coliseum Sports. It's game two of a doubleheader in the Western region. The 3-6 matchup, the Minnesota Twins taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers from beautiful Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Hello everybody, I'm Raymond Sims, and as Ernie Banks used to say, let's play two. Had our Eastern region game between the White Sox and Nationals, a good one with the home team winning 5-2. Now let's see if the Western region home team, the 3-seed Dodgers, can take care of business. They'll be taking on these Minnesota Twins. And here's a look at Ron Gardenhire and how he set his lineup up. We talked about it in the pregame show along with a bunch of other stuff, but just to remind you, Danny Santana, Brian Dozier, and Trevor Plouffe will lead things off. They will be taking on the Kershaw. He's been having a heck of a season. The best ERA in baseball, 1.76. We saw Chris Sale with his 1.88, that's second in baseball, but he had a rough game. We'll see if the Twins can give Kershaw a hard time as well. Kershaw throws his last. All they do. Let's take a look at their defensive lineup presented by Majestic. A.J. Ellis will make up the battery with Kershaw. And then you have a number of gold glovers out there around the outfield. We'll see how they do against the Twins offense. All right, let's get the West Coast party started. Center fielder Danny Santana ready to lead off here for Minnesota. First pitch to Santana, fastball low for ball one. That's how we'll get underway here from Chavez Ravine. Pushing 90 here in Los Angeles. Cooler by the ocean, of course. Probably hotter or just as hot in the valley. And across the rest of the basin, not near the water. But still, it's California, so you got to be assured that it is a beautiful day. Danny Santana, the rookie Dominican, just made his debut back in May. Makes his debut here and strikes out against the mighty Kershaw. That's how we'll get started here. That's out number one. Take a look at it again here on replay. Santana thought he had it. but he just swung way too late. So here's Brian Dozier, number 2, the second baseman for Minnesota. First pitch fastball inside for strike 1. Brian Dozier, like a lot of the Twins in this lineup and on this team, a homegrown talent, drafted in 2009, making his debut in 2012. The 0-1 from Kershaw. Inside, another fastball for ball 1. The Twins hosted the 2014 All-Star Game. It was a wonderful event, albeit a bit of controversy in several aspects. But during the home run derby, Brian Dozier was picked by Captain Jose Bautista for the home crowd. He shows off his stuff for the road crowd here in Los Angeles by legging out a double with 1 out in the top of the first. So here is the third baseman, number 24, Trevor Plouffe. Dozier gets things going here with the offense. Trevor Plouffe right behind him. He's had an interesting year. Looks to second, throws home. Check swing on the slider. Inside for a ball. Trevor Plouffe batting .238 this year. .309 on base percentage, matching his numbers from all of last year. Slider outside for ball 2. So Kershaw already struggling just a little bit. There's Dozier at second, and Plouffe looking to put the Twins on the board. .2-0 delivery, another slider outside. Kershaw struggling just a little bit here. 3-0 count. We'll see if it's an automatic strike. Here it comes. 4 pitches, 4 balls for Clayton Kershaw as Trevor Plouffe will take his base. So that's 2 Twins on. And here's Chris Colabello, the first baseman. Four-seamer in there for a strike. Kershaw looking to get back in order. He has 2 men on. He just walked. One of them gave up a double to the other and only has 1 out. You can see if he can hit into a double play. Swing and a miss by Colabello. Colabello, 30 years old, finally made his debut a couple years ago with Minnesota. Just signed on as a free agent. Now he's found his way into the Twins lineup. The 12-6 curve drops at 6 for ball 1. Colabello has 6 home runs on the year with 38 runs batted in. .233, but pushing that slugging percentage up there near 400 at .394. Here's the 1-2. Managed to put this one in play, and that drops into left field. Dozier's coming home, and it's an RBI single for Chris Colabello. The Twins start off the game ahead 1-0. We'll take a look at it on replay. Colabello showing some of that power, drops it just right into left field. Had to be chased down by Kemp. So here's Josh Willingham. You thought Colabello had power. Check out Josh Willingham here. 11 home runs with a .436 slugging percentage. He has runners on first and second. The mandate isn't necessary isn't necessarily to swing for the fences, especially against a pitcher like Kershaw, but if he does, it would not be surprising one bit. He's facing the 0-1 count here with 2 runners on and 1 out. Here's a pitch. Inside on the 4-seam. 1 ball and 1 strike. Willingham fouls this one off. One, two. Willingham attempts to tee off and fouls down the first base side. The Twins have picked up 2 hits in this game so far early on, including an extra baser by Brian Dozier. Any hit's a good hit for the Twins, as they're currently 22nd in baseball with a .244 average. So they really do struggle to hit the ball, and they actually struggle in a lot of offensive and defensive categories. But if they can get a run going, they can pull off an upset just like the Cubs and Astros did just a week ago. Willingham fouls this one off, keeps the at-bat alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Willingham puts the ball in play, but hits into a near double play. He will reach on the fielder's choice, and the Twins now have 2 outs. So Colabello out 4-6, and Willingham managing to leg one out like a track star and stay on. So 2 outs and runners on the corners. Here's Osvaldo Arcia. 4-seamer in there for ball 1. Arcia from Venezuela in his first year and change. He's been well known for a lot of great defensive web gems, but we'll see if he can contribute offensively here. Four-seamer outside, 2 balls, no strikes. The numbers say no. He has a .219 average with 7 home runs and 20 RBIs, but the situation says yes, as he is ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes, runners on the corners with 2 outs. So a sac fly would not do here. He's going to have to put this one in play. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss on the changeup by Arcia. Arcia just late on the swing. By the time he was going for it, it was already in the glove of A.J. Ellis. And the 2-1. Another swing and a miss on the slider. Arcia knows what time it is, and so does Kershaw. Kershaw has managed to fool Arcia with a couple of breaking balls. We'll see what he'll bring on the 2-2. He does have a pitch to kill, so if it's a ball, it's no big deal. Just don't want Arcia to put it in play. Here's the 2-2. This one is in play. It will roll. So home comes Plouffe. Willingham will advance to second, and Arcia is on with what is. Out comes Don Mattingly, something he rarely has to do with his ace. He has to make sure that the kid's all right. So here is the catcher, Kurt Suzuki. He was the All-Star representing the Twins in this year's All-Star game. There's a reserve catcher. The changeup drops in for strike 1. The transaction talk I had hinted at came from the very same person that broke the news on the David Price trade, Ken Rosenthal, saying that the Twins would really like to keep Kurt Suzuki at catcher, especially with the production he's put up, and are looking to sign him to an extension. This ball in there for ball 1. Suzuki, 304, 367 on base, 386 slugging, 2 home runs, 41 RBIs, and 89 appearances. All of those numbers actually put Suzuki near the top of the team. And of course, it really does call a mean game. So Suzuki could be very valuable as the Twins attempt to rebuild. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Suzuki, trying to keep the rally going. The Twins have already scored 2 runs, and it looks like that's all they'll get as the inning is bookended by strikeouts. So it's 2-0 heading into the bottom of the first. The Dodgers will get their first swings at the plate here on the Coliseum Sports Network. Welcome back to the City of Angels. The Dodgers are in trouble already. They've given up 2 runs. Here's a look at the lineup that will look to get back into the game. It's Gordon, Ramirez, and Puig here in the top of the bottom of the first. And they'll be taking on Kevin Correia, 418 in 2013, and it hasn't gotten much better. That 9-13 record in 2013, make that 5-13 in 2014 with a 5.06 ERA. So it's sure to get a little sticky here for Kevin Correia. But that's why you come out every game and hope that you can make a difference for your team. Here's a look at the defensive lineup that'll be hoping to help him out. Beautiful Dodger Stadium on a hot, to say the least, day here in Los Angeles. But you can't help but love to be here. And so, starting off the inning for the Dodgers, D. Gordon, second base. First pitch to him, a 4-seamer below the knees for ball 1. Gordon has come up in the Dodgers system. Another one of those homegrown talents. He's from the Orlando area. I remember the days not too long ago when Gordon was a very quick guy, but very raw. As this one pops back towards the screen, and Suzuki's got it. So that's a pop-up to the catcher for out number 1. We'll get more on Gordon later on. But for now, here is Hanley Ramirez. First pitch from Correia in there. A slider for strike 1. Ramirez, compared to Gordon, not homegrown. Hanley actually began his career in Boston but was shifted away after playing a couple of games with the Red Sox. He's supposed to be the Marlin of the future. With the Marlins organization deciding to ship him off to Los Angeles, where he's continued to be his high-producing self. He has had to deal with some minor injuries along the way, but he still managed to play 91 games so far this season. Ramirez takes a curveball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. One, 2 inside, jams up Ramirez. That could have been a ball. But instead, it will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Ramirez hits this one up into left field, traveling over towards the bullpen. It will drop at the warning track. Ramirez has extra bases, and he is in there for a stand-up double. So just like the Twins, the Dodgers get 1 out and then get a double. We'll see if the Dodgers can follow suit with the scoring here. They are behind by 2 runs. Here's Yasiel Puig. Vince Scully likes to call him the wild horse. He tends to struggle in the way of discipline. So he reaches for that one. No balls, 1 strike. Ramirez across from him at second. And he'll actually take the curveball, which drops into the zone. So Puig, with 1 out and a man on here in the bottom of the first, is in the 0-2 hole. See if he can come back, though, against Kevin Correia. Pickoff attempt. Caught there. But he is all right. Another pickoff attempt. He got there in time. The Dodgers, in general, a very speedy team. As Puig will put this one in for a base hit. This rolls. Ramirez fast enough to come home as Arcia bobbles the ball out in right field, and then he can't even make the close play at second. So Puig should be in with an RBI double. Arcia had this roll to him, and it came off the side of his glove. And then once he finally got it, he almost had enough time to make the throw at second, and he just didn't. So here's Adrian Gonzalez, 1 run for the Dodgers, and 1 out still with Puig on second now for Adrian Gonzalez. First pitch he sees, he hits it straight to Dozier. So there's the second out, a 4-3 putout. Adrian Gonzalez, 100 RBIs even in 2013, but can't get any there. So it'll be up to Matt Kemp, the left fielder. Puig moves to third as Dozier felt it was easier to get the out at first, and of course it was. Kemp will take the fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. Dodgers looking to erase the lead that they had just relinquished in the top of the first. Talk about making up for mistakes. Another fastball high. 2 balls, no strikes. Man on third with 2 out. Matt Kemp was in trade talks, and at least coming into this broadcast, didn't see it peep out of Los Angeles, so it seems like Kemp will stay at least for now. He'll hit this one to Dozier, and the easy out made at first, so Puig won't come home, but the Dodgers at least cut the lead in half, as they're only down 2-1 heading into the top of the second. Can Kershaw recover? We'll find out on the Coliseum Sports Network. After a first inning that included 2 runs and was bookended by swinging strikeouts, Eduardo Escobar will start off the top of the will drop into the glove of Kershaw, who will tag out Escobar. And that's how we'll start off the top of the second inning with a 1 unassisted. Take a look at it again on replay. Broken bats, normally dangerous, but Kershaw, well out of the way, was able to make the play no problem. And here is the pitcher, Kevin Correia, 1 for 5 this season at the plate. An American League pitcher. So of course, he does not do this very often. But for a pitcher with 5 at-bats, he has 1 RBI and he has 1 strikeout. So a lot better than some other pitchers who tend to come up to the plate. Change up outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 fastball inside. And a 4-seamer inside. You look at Danny Santana, who's due up next. He struck out to start off the game. 3-1 to Correia. Fouls that one off. Full count now to the pitcher. And here's the payoff pitch. That one drops. The dropped strike. A.J. Ellis should have no problem to make the out, and he gets it. So 3rd strikeout for Clayton Kershaw, and out number 2 here in the 2nd inning. Gotta bless these pitchers for trying. So we restart the lineup here in the second. And here is Danny Santana. And this one, hit in the air, carrying, and the out made and right by Puig. So after giving up 2 runs in the first, Clayton Kershaw calms it down, and it's 3 up, 3 down. Ethier, Uribe, and Ellis due up next. Andre Ethier, the Phoenician from the state of Arizona, will get things going here in the bottom of the second inning. Kershaw and the Dodgers relinquished 2 runs in the first, then were able to cut that in half with an RBI double by Yasiel Puig. Slider inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Kevin Correia, no stranger to this area. He's a Cal Poly Mustang that's a couple of hours from here in San Luis Obispo. And grew up in San Diego, much like Adrian Gonzalez. This one rolls to Dozier, and he'll make the put out. Almost missed it on the high throw to Colabello, but it is still out number 1. So here is one, Uribe. The Dodgers have grounded to Dozier 3 consecutive times. And before that, had 2 consecutive doubles. You can be sure that Uribe is looking to get off a hit here. He'll swing and miss on the changeup. He'll swing and miss good. On Uribe has been a professional baseball player since 1997. Made his debut in 2001 with the Colorado Rockies. Takes the slider, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's won a championship with the White Sox, and then he moved on to the Giants. He moved on to Los Angeles when he signed here after the 2010 season. He's been a part of this lineup ever since, as the Dodgers have been looking to contend for the World Series. A place this team, this storied franchise, has not been for a very long time. Here's the 2-2 to Uribe. Take the changeup outside. Full count here to 1. Here's a pitch from Correia. This one popped up in the air, heading to right. Should be playable, and it is. Oh, it's not. Arcia misses the catch. It looked so simple, and then it wasn't. And here comes Uribe as he will jog into third. Unbelievable. What a fielding folly by Oswaldo Arcia. Usually pretty good with the glove. Doesn't play it as well as he should have, and misses it. That one hits up against the bullpen on the warning track. And here is A.J. Ellis. That might just be a 3-base error. That's exactly what it is. E9 on Oswaldo Arcia. Shame. As the pitch to A.J. Ellis is in there for a strike. So Correia going to have to make up some ground here, as there's already a runner 90 feet away. Something that was not necessarily his fault. Now, while it doesn't count as a triple, the Dodgers do lead the league in triples with 33. Oddly enough, 33 triples for the Dodgers coming into this tournament. 0-2 count here to Ellis with 1 out and Uribe at third. Here in the bottom of the second, the Dodgers looking to tie this up. And the 0-2. Ellis is jammed and stays alive at the plate. Because that very well could have been an out on the inner half of the plate. That's not a strike. Four-seamer above the plate. One ball and 2 strikes, and now Correia can't get out of it. He ties the count at 2. A.J. Ellis showing patience, hoping to bring in his teammate and tie this game up against the Twins. Check swing on the fastball. The count is run full. Correia 3 pitches ago looked to be in business, and now he has fallen behind. This is a crucial pitch here. Will he put it in to the zone, or will he risk a pitch outside, getting Ellis to swing? Here's the San Diegan. Ellis puts it in play. It's rounded up at third, and the play is made at first. And that is out number 2. So Uribe manages to come home. On the ground out. And here is the pitcher, Clayton Kershaw. We'll see if the inning ends with him, or Correia will have trouble taking on the slightly more experienced batter. Seven for 36 on the season is Kershaw at the plate. He'll swing and miss on a fastball inside. Game tied at 2. Bases clear, 2 outs. 0-2 count. See if Correia can put Kershaw away. He can, as this one drives right up the middle. And that is a 2-out single by the pitcher, Clayton Kershaw. I guess the saying goes there's no guaranteed outs, and so here is D. Gordon, who happened to pop up behind the plate in the previous inning. We're going to see if he can help shuffle the old catcher around. Slider outside for strike 1. Just on the outer half. D. Gordon batting .294. He managed to make it to his first ever all. Pitch inside, there's slider. D. Gordon at second base is going to probably have some company heading into the playoffs. I think it's safe to assume the Dodgers will make the playoffs, as the Dodgers picked up veteran second baseman Darwin Barney from the Cubs for some minor leaguers. The 2-seamers outside. Darwin's currently down in Albuquerque, along with utility infielder or utility man, period, Sean Figgins, who's on a rehab assignment. So we'll see how both Barney and Figgins figure into the equation once it comes October. 2-1 count to Gordon. He'll take a fastball. That one was in the zone. Was almost in the zone. I thought it was in there for strike 2, but alas, the ump calls 3 balls and 1 strike. Correia trying to get out of the inning. He's given up a run in each of the last 2. Kershaw, the pitcher, at first. Gordon puts one in play. Colabello able to make the easy out unassisted. So the Dodgers make good on giving up 2 runs in the top of the first by getting a run in each of the last 2. We'll see if the Twins can respond in kind. It's 2-2. Back in Los Angeles, here's Brian Dozier. And Dozier swings on the breaking ball to Gordon for the 4-3 putout. And here is Trevor Plouffe. Walked his last time up, and when he walked, he came back home. Eventually, for the Twins' second and previous run. He'll take a four-seamer for ball one. So apparently a bit too high there for the ump. Swing and a miss by Plouffe. Kershaw has retired 5 straight batters. He's looking for number 6 here. Trevor Plouffe facing a 1-1 count. Wind up the kick, the delivery outside on four-seamer. So Kershaw in a little bit of trouble here, 2-1. Will take the changeup. It is now 3 balls and 1 strike. Kershaw now behind in the count against the player that is tied for 8th in baseball, in the majors at least, for doubles. Fouls off this one, chasing the 3-1, and so now the count runs full. Let's see what Kershaw has up. Struck by Plouffe, rounded up by Gordon, and the out made at first again. So second straight 4-3 put out here, and that is 6 straight batters retired for Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw with 2 hits, 3 strikeouts. Here's Chris Colabello, who made the last out of the previous inning. Here. Keep the bat on his shoulder. Strike 1.
Oh, that missed. That's a ball. 1-1.
And this one hit, rounded up easily by Uribe, and that'll be out number 3. So another 3 up, 3 down inning for Clayton Kershaw. Ramirez, Puig, and Gonzalez going to look to add some runs on for the Dodgers. It's 2-all here from LA. You're enjoying this Coliseum baseball tournament game, and if you enjoyed the first part of our doubleheader, the White Sox and Nationals, be sure to check out the Coliseum Sports Network for more Coliseum baseball tournament action. We'll have it all the way through late August. Our next games will be tomorrow, a doubleheader between Toronto and Pittsburgh from PNC Park, and the second leg of that doubleheader will be the Mariners with a couple of new pieces taking on the Giants from AT&T Park. Pitch in there for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike to Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez hit a double. That was the first hit given up by Correia back in the first. Ramirez looking to put it into play. Hits this one down the first on the warning track. One and 2 here to Ramirez. Correia looking to put him away. That one breaks well, but Ramirez gets a piece of it. There's the 1-2 count. Fouls that one off, keeps the at-bat alive. 1-2. This one hitting the play. Rolls right up center field. And Hanley Ramirez on with his second hit of the game. This one a single. So 3 total bases so far for Hanley. It's yet another hit given up by Kevin Correia. Here's Yasiel Puig. He had an RBI double to start things off. We'll see if he can get Hanley home like he did before. Ramirez is a base behind where he was the last time Yasiel was up, however. 1 ball and no strike here to Puig. Man on first, nobody out. Puig takes one up and in for ball 2. Slider taken in. 3 balls and no strikes. Puig leads in a lot of categories that basically just go to show you that he's a fierce hitter. He's also a tenacious defender, but of course fielding a little bit harder to quantify side of putouts and errors. Here's the 3-0. 4 pitches, 4 balls. We saw that out of Kershaw back in the first inning to Trevor Plouffe, and now we see it from Kevin Correia to Yasiel Puig. That will advance Hanley to second. So 2 on and none out for Adrian Gonzalez. Adrian Gonzalez tied for 9th in the majors in RBIs with 70. He has 15 home runs coming into this tournament. Needless to say, Kevin Correia in a bit of trouble here. 2 men on for the first baseman from San Diego. He will take a pitch outside. Curveball in there. And that one finds the zone as well, 0-2. So Correia not intimidated by Gonzalez so far. He's going to look to close them out for out number 1. Three pitches, 3 strikes. So the opposite of what happened to him with Puig, and a backwards K for Adrian Gonzalez. That's Correia's first strikeout of the game. It's interesting. Adrian Gonzalez was looking for a pitch he wanted to hit. Just couldn't find one there. There's also a chance that Gonzalez underestimated Correia. Correia had no problem putting him in the zone for what amounted to an easy out. Here's Matt Kemp up at the plate. He grounded to second. His last time up was 2. It was the second of 3 consecutive 4-3 putouts. Kemp gets this one down the line, but foul. Kemp was on the run, but had to turn around as that one just veered foul. Facing the 1-1 in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 swung on and missed. And now Kemp on the verge of striking out. Would be Correia's second. I'm sure that would help with the confidence. 2 men on with 1 out. And there's the 2-2. gets to third base, and we will have a 5-4 out at second and a fielder's choice by Matt Kemp. So Puig will have to take his base. Ramirez is at third. Here comes Andre Ethier. Facing 2 outs. What he needs here is a base hit to bring home Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez looking for his second run scored of the game. And this one popped up in the air. It's playable if it drops. Heading to the warning track and gone! A 3-run shot by Andre Ethier. And on the swing of a bat, the Dodgers bust this one open. They have now scored in each of the last 3 innings against Kevin Correia. And here is Juan Uribe. Reached on a 3-base error. He's going to see what he can contribute to the party. This one hit down the line, and it won't be much because Colabello will get out number 3. But man, Andre Ethier, he's had his struggles this season, but he doesn't struggle with that one as he tees off on Correia. Makes it a 5-2 game after 3.
Leading off for Minnesota, left fielder, Josh Willingham.
Welcome back to the Coliseum Baseball Tournament, the Western Region 2-7 matchup, or 3-6 matchup rather, between the Dodgers and the Twins. Josh Willingham leading things off here, and Kershaw just lobs a slider outside for ball 1. Four-seamer at the knees, 2 balls and no strikes. Two-0, up and in for ball 3. Four-seamer in there, 3 balls and 1 strike. The winner of this game will go on to take on the 2-seeded Angels. The loser of this game will go on to host the Padres. Payoff pitch to Willingham. Hit straight to Uribe. Lined out, as a matter of fact, and that's out number 1. Here's Oswaldo Arcia, who committed a crucial error back in the 2nd inning on a routine fly ball. He's going to look to make good here offensively. First pitch to him, a slider inside for strike 1. Chest inside, painting the black. So he's already done some good, but it's probably going to take another hit. He reaches heavily on the breaking slider. Probably going to take a couple of hits, maybe a home run, and a box of chocolates for Kevin Correia. for what he did and what it has led to so far. Here's the 0-2, and Arcia hesitant to swing. He pays for it on the fastball right in the sweet spot. Backwards K for Arcia. And here comes the catcher, Kurt Suzuki, who himself struck out to Kershaw. Kershaw now has 4 strikeouts on the afternoon. Kershaw looking for his 3rd straight 3-up, 3-down inning. And Suzuki knocks this one into right center field. It's carrying, but the out is made in center by Ethier. So another 3-up, 3-down inning, and Kershaw is dealing. We'll see if the Dodgers are swinging. Here comes A.J. Ellis after this. If you want the best coverage of sports, both real and fake, Sports Nerds Unite at SimsColiseum.com. That's SimsColiseum.com. A.J. Ellis starts things off by swinging and fouling off a pitch down the first base side. The Dodgers are ahead 5-2 after a 3-run shot in third by Andre Ethier. Ellis wanting to get in on the fun too. Well outside. The 0-2 drops in, and the curveball will retire A.J. Ellis. That is strikeout number 2 for Correia. And he's going to need all the strikeouts he can get. We take a look at it on replay. A.J. Ellis was told to just swing away. Correia understood that and was able to put down Ellis. Kershaw singled his last time up. We'll see what he does against the pitcher here. Kershaw will take the slider. Still in the zone for strike 1. You gotta hate that. You don't want to hit a ball that's in a bad part of the zone, but if it's a strike, it's a strike, and sometimes you just can't do anything about that. Curveball drops at the knees for ball 1. In terms of an AL pitcher taking on an NL pitcher, we saw that in the first game as well between the White Sox and Nationals, Steven Strasburg was able to get on base in his first at-bat, and then he flew out to right his second time up. Swing and a miss. Last strike. Strasburg hit a shot into center field, but the score called that an error on Chris Sale, which was quite interesting at the time. It did still bring in a national run. The Nationals were going to score 5. Strasburg would allow just 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Clayton Kershaw. Bottom of the 4th here from Los Angeles. Base is empty with 1 out, 5-2 in favor of the True Blue as this one hits up in the air. Should be playable by Arcia for real this time, and it is. No dropped ball there. Arcia gets out number 2. And here is D. Gordon, who hasn't been able to get on base so far. He popped out in the first and grounded out to the first baseman in the second. So here in the 4th, he's going to try to finally get on base, because when he does, boy, is he ever dangerous. It'll be interesting to also see, if he gets on base, how he matches up against Kurt Suzuki, himself a veteran catcher. 0-1 count here, though, to Gordon. And the delivery's in. 4-seamer inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gordon, 48 stolen bases and 10 triples. so far this year, and that is good enough for first in both categories in the entire Major League. So again, once he gets on base, he can be a dangerous man. But that is an if here, as he's 0 for 2. 3 innings, 3 2/3 of innings into this game. Just struggled with that one, that's for sure. But Gordon takes a pitch, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Take another pitch wisely that runs the count full off of the changeup from Kevin Correia. Hanley Ramirez raring to go if Gordon can get on base. Gordon fouls it off, so we'll keep it alive. Bottom of the 4th, Correia already up to 73 pitches. Here's number 74. And Gordon hits this one left field. It's carrying, playable for Willingham, and he'll get the out by chasing it down. So Gordon 0 for 3, but the Dodgers have not had trouble scoring runs heading into the top of the 5th.
Leading off for the Twins, shortstop, Eduardo.
Top of the 5th here from Los Angeles, and we have not seen Eduardo Escobar since the 2nd because Clayton Kershaw has gone hitless over the past 3 innings. He's going to try to see if he can bring up some of that perfect pitching again here in the top of the 5th after giving up 2 runs in the 1st. There's already 1 man down off of the attempted bunt. 2-3 put out there. Props to A.J. Ellis for being quick on his feet. I always find it interesting when catchers are so quick, even like Kurt Suzuki, for instance, or Joe Mauer, who's injured this year for the Twins and moved to first base anyways, but how quick on their feet they are when a ball is in play. Here's the pitcher, Kevin Correia, once again. He's given up 5 runs, including 3 on 1 swing. He's going to see if he can utilize his bat against Kershaw, who's definitely gotten into a flow since striking out Kurt Suzuki to round out the 1st inning. 12-6 curve breaks as it should, but Correia takes it. 1 ball, 1 strike to Correia. And here's the windup from Kershaw. And this one down the line. It is fair. And Correia is on with a base hit. And that's one thing about NL pitchers. They have games where the pitcher has to hit, rather. They get to help their own cause, and Correia does just that as he breaks up a retirement streak of 11 batters. That went from Suzuki's strikeout to start off, or to end the 1st, all the way into the 2-3 putout. That was the 1st out of this inning. So a single for Correia as we restart the lineup with center fielder Santana. First pitch to him, he'll take a fastball on the inner half for strike 1. Danny Santana, as I said before, debuted back in May on the 5th. So he's 48 games in. Slider outside. He finds himself moving around quite a bit. So he's played some short, played some center field, but he's tried to be useful in all of his positions. 48 games into the regular season for him, he's batting .315. So small sample size theater, but he's doing pretty well, leading off for the Twins. He's facing a 2-1 count here to Kershaw, has the opportunity to contribute some more. We're still almost halfway through this game, so the Twins are not out of it. We saw that back and forth game up in Oakland about a week ago. And the Astros, who tended to be the butt of many jokes around baseball circles over the past few years, they're starting to turn things around. The Twins may or may not be in that same position. It's kind of up to you to determine. I quite frankly say they wouldn't. They're about to turn a corner, but not just yet as Santana fouls that one off. They do have Brian Buxton, who's hailed as one of the best prospects. The Twins are treating him with kid gloves, making sure that their future all-star transitions into the majors correctly. And the goodwill erased as Santana grounds into a double play. So Correia tried to get a single for himself, but in the end, a 6-4-3 double play keeps the Twins from doing anything offensively. Halfway home here as the Dodgers are looking to add on some more runs. Kevin Correia got a single back in the last half inning, but the Twins could not come up with anything else. So it is still 5-2 in favor of the Dodgers. Ramirez up at the plate. He's fouled off 2 straight pitches, finds himself in the hole here. Foul off another one. So the mandate clear, especially with the lead, and a sizable one at that. Manager Mattingly has told these guys to swing away unless in the case of that 1-2 pitch, it's just obviously going to fall out of the zone. It's not a lot of relief in this lineup for Correia. There's no easy outs here, but I guess that's one of the reasons the Dodgers are contending for the National League title, along with the Nationals, who we just saw earlier today. 2-2 count to Hanley Ramirez as he ties the count back up. He was in the hole after swinging away on the first 3 pitches. Here's the 2-2, and he hits this one. It is fair as that one rolls into left field. And another base hit for Hanley Ramirez as this single will lead off the 5th. And Ron Gardenhire has seen enough out of Kevin Correia. That 5.06 ERA was very telling coming into this game, but Correia is the #1 guy for Minnesota. You just have to go out and do what you can. But today, it was 5 earned runs, right in line with his average. And in comes Logan Darnell. Logan Darnell will see if he can close things out. But not only has Correia struggled this season, the entire pitching staff for the Twins have struggled this season. We'll see if they can pull it together to maintain this 5-run game. Give the offense a chance to get back into this. But in the meantime, here's Yasiel Puig, who takes a ball and then swings on the 1-0. This one gets past Colabello. Ramirez has to pause to make sure that doesn't hit him, and he's able to get the second as Puig gets on with a single. So Darnell picks up where Correia left off, and that's not a good thing. 2 singles to lead off the inning, and here's Adrian Gonzalez. The thing about Adrian Gonzalez is that he struck out his last time up against Kevin Correia in a case where he probably underestimated the starting pitcher. But he may have been struggling, but, well, he's not a scrub. Still a major league level pitcher. And Gonzalez paid for that his last time up. Let's see if he learned the error of his ways against the new pitcher, Logan Darnell. Darnell looking for his first out here with 2 runners on and nobody out in the inning. Double steal. Ramirez is out at third, but Puig is in at second. So there's 1 out there for the Twins.
Hey, nothing fancy, just move the runner.
And Puig replaces Handley at second. So Gonzalez will be tasked with bringing in at least one run
No, he's in there.
instead of the two that he could have if the double steal was completely successful. 2 balls and no. Darnell well aware of the wild horse Yasiel Puig. That man is not afraid to run. He was almost out that time. He manages to hang on. This one hit carrying down the first base line, and it is foul. Dropped just in front of the row. I will say, Arcia could have stuck his hand out, and that would have been out number 2. 2-1 fouled off by Gonzalez. It's a 2-2 inside. Gonzalez knew better than to swing on that pitch. That would have jammed him good. 1 out with a man on second, 5-2 in favor of the Dodgers, and they're going to look for some more runs here to put away the Twins and send them down to the losers bracket. And we've had a close. The last 2 games here on the Coliseum Sports Network end with 5-2 final scores. And that foul tip marks the end for Gonzalez as he will strike out this time with a forward K. So here is Matt Kemp. He managed to leg out a fielder's choice his last time up. He came home on the Ethier home run. This one fouled off by Kemp. Drafted by the team back in 2003, debuted in 06. He's been with the team ever since. There's been a little bit of tension between Kemp and the front office, to say the least. And he was definitely in trade talk. Those tend to just be rumors. One of his main complaints, Kemp, was his desire to play center field, which is now occupied by Ethier as he's over in left. And he hits this one over to the third baseman, and Yasiel Puig, for all his wildness, runs directly into Trevor Plouffe. So that is how we'll end the inning. That's bizarre. Still 5-2 in favor of the Dodgers. Welcome back to Los Angeles. We got Brandon League in the bullpen here for Clayton Kershaw, who after giving up 2 runs in the first has been going to work. This first pitch, a fastball in there for ball 1. So there hasn't been much in the way of worries here. Yeah, as said before. Whoa, as this one hits off the foot. Ouch. So Dozier will take his base. We saw that in the last game. Alejandro De Aza was struck on the foot. And that's gotta hurt, but Dozier seems all right, so he'll be taking his base. Here's Trevor Plouffe, who ended the last inning with a pretty bizarre putout. I've put that down to my... What happened was that Puig at second. He was there when Matt Kemp came up to the plate. Kemp hit it straight to Plouffe. Looked like it was on the verge of being a 5-3 putout anyways, but Puig bumps into Plouffe for the tag out, and that's how we end it. So that's the second fielder's choice there by Kemp, because he was not put out even though the inning ended. He was still a batter runner. He could have conceivably gotten home or gotten to first. The Dozier on first here for Minnesota with Plouffe at the plate. That one breaks. Plouffe is able to reach out and foul it off. This one fouled off just to the right of home plate. Taking a look here at some more tournament-related trades. The Cubs get rid of Emilio Bonifacio and James Russell. And they'll bring in Victor Caratini from Atlanta. Plouffe hits another breaking ball to stay alive. Meanwhile, two tournament teams, the Marlins get Jarrett Cozart and Kike Hernandez. As Plouffe goes down on strikes. That's the first out of the inning. Another backwards K for Kershaw. He is making these Twins hitters look silly sometimes. That's 5 strikeouts in the name of Clayton Kershaw. And here's Chris Colabello looking to advance Dozier, who's standing on first with 1 out. Now that Miami-Houston trade here, Miami gets Jarrett Cozart, Austin Waits, an outfielder, and Kike Hernandez, as Dozier does not help the Twins' case offensively and is caught stealing by the arm of A.J. Ellis. And we're going to look at that one too. So instead of Colabello advancing, Dozier took it into his own hands and he's out. So now with 2 outs and the base is empty, Colabello is going to look to restart some sort of offensive rally. So we'll see Kike Hernandez and Jarrett Cozart in different shades of orange, as we will see Jake Marisnick also in a different set of orange. Their 12-6 curve is in there, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jake Marisnick comes to Houston along with pitcher Francis Martz and third baseman Colin Moran, as well as a competitive balance pick. Here's the 1-2. That one inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the curveball. And as far as we know, with the 3-team deal that sends David Price to Detroit, Austin Jackson and Nick Franklin and Willie Adames will head to Tampa Bay. So a very hectic trade deadline day. And Chris Colabello will get on base. That'll probably be an E4. But we will wait for confirmation from the official score.
The batter, left fielder, Josh Willingham.
But in the meantime, Josh Willingham is going to step up to the plate. It is a base hit. Little hometown love for the Dodgers on that play. But now Colabello replacing Dozier at first. We'll see if Willingham can advance him. The tying run waiting on deck in Osvaldo Arcia. But will Willingham manage to keep the inning alive? 2 outs, man on first, and he has to move out of the way of the 0-1 fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. One outside on the changeup, can't get Willingham to chase. Willingham all about the power. He is not going for average, not one bit. He's batting .223, but he has a .436 slugging percentage with 11 home runs and 31 RBIs, and that's in only 59 games. 2-1, slider, drops in for strike 2. Kershaw could close out this inning once again. Won't be 3 up, 3 down. But it will be another quick inning for the Dodgers. They are looking to easily dispatch the Minnesota Twins. Here's the 2-2. Willingham puts it in play. Rounded up at short and overthrown. Both Twins will be safe. And as a matter of fact, Colabello will reach third on the throwing error. Oh, hold the phone. This inning is not over yet. Mercy. Just a complete overthrow of that ball. That's got to be an E in the column, but we'll see who it's on. and it's not. So more hometown love from the official score, as that will be a base hit by Josh Willingham, a single to move Colabello to the corner. Check swing will ask the third base ump, and it's a strike. Oswaldo Arcia is the tying run. Can he keep the inning alive? Can the Twins get back into this? One of the lower rated offenses just needs one game to take down the Dodgers. This one hit up in the air, and the out made and left. So all that much ado about nothing, but man, was it wild. And it's still 5-2 as we head into Welcome back to Los Angeles. Andre Ethier stepping up to the plate, and he's really the guy that got the Dodgers back in shape. They gave up 2 runs in the first inning, then chipped away with a run in each of the first 2 innings to tie it up. And then Ethier just broke it wide open in the third with a 3-run shot. Logan Darnell still in the game for Minnesota. But Ethier and the Dodgers are going to look for more runs here. And this one, flying to Arcia. He made an error on a fly ball, but this one, he collects with no problem. And here's Juan Uribe. Has yet to record a hit. Had a triple scored as an error, as it was. That was what I was referring to about Arcia. It was a routine fly ball, just plain misplayed.
1-1.
Swing and a miss on the fastball, 1-1. Two balls and 1 strike off of the changeup. Now, changeup in the dirt. 3 balls, 1 strike. And Uribe fouls it off. Curveball drops in there, and that'll be a strikeout for Logan Darnell. And he will get out number 2 here. And here's A.J. Ellis. 0 for 2 so far today. Looking to get the offense going. It's a curveball in there. And this one fouled off. Won't even be challenged by Plouffe. It's a strike. Two balls and 1 strike with 2 outs to A.J. Ellis. This one lifted in the air. Arcia should be under it to close out the inning, and that'll be 3 up and 3 down for Logan Darnell. 2 flyouts to right and a strikeout. And the Twins keep it 5-2 heading into the top of the 7th. Welcome back to Los Angeles. Here's a look at the game show. Clayton Kershaw has been going to work. He has 5 strikeouts in 6 innings. And the first batter he'll take on here in the top of the 7th is the catcher Kurt Suzuki. He's 0 for 2 so far today with the strikeout and a flyout. And the 4-seamer in the dirt. Kershaw has now hit the 90 pitch mark here for the Dodgers. As you saw, there's some bullpen action going on. Also of note, the number 9 spot is due up in the bottom of the 7th. So we'll see if Kershaw will bat or if Mattingly will go ahead and switch him out with a pinch hitter. This one fouled off. And Suzuki puts this one in play. Rounded up by Gordon, and he'll get the diving catch and make the out in time. Look at this again. Some true web gemming by D. Gordon. Unbelievable. Here's a look at Clayton Kershaw's pitch distribution. Almost a 2-to-3 ratio. Strikes to balls.
Get started, dogs, here.
The 2-to-1 ratio rather, strikes to balls. And Kershaw making his way up to 100 pitches. So we might be seeing the end of the road here for Kershaw very soon. A.J. Ellis going to talk with him. 2 balls, no strikes. This does give enough time for Chris Perez in the bullpen and whoever else is there to kind of warm up and get some more pitches in. But at the same time, we'll see if Kershaw can go ahead and get the job done on his own. And this one popped up in the air. The infield converges. And we'll see who has it. It will be Gonzalez for out number 2. Clayton Kershaw at pitch number 96. And he's probably an out away from finishing his evening. So we now come down to the number 9 spot, which we haven't been to since the 5th inning when Correia hit a single, and it will be Eduardo Nunez, the former Yankee, coming into the game to pinch hit for Darnell. This one hit to Gonzalez, and he'll take it by himself. So that'll do it for the 7th inning. Time to stretch out, people, here on the West Coast. The Dodgers leading 5-2. As you saw, Logan Darnell did not bat for himself. He had a pinch hitter, so that means we got a new pitcher. Caleb Tealbar coming into the game. 49 appearances in 2013 with a 3-2 record. And after 96 pitches, or actually 97 rather, here is Clayton Kershaw. He's going to bat again. No pinch hitter here from Don Mattingly. Kershaw has reached base with a single, and he's flown out. So we'll see if he can add any more to the cause here, as the Dodgers will look to put on some more runs. Throughout this tournament, we have yet to have a game decided by more than 3 runs. And the last two games have been decided 5-2. Those two games do mark the largest margin of victory, both by the Angels and the Nationals. So I'm sure the Dodgers, even with their pitcher up here, are not satisfied with just a 3-run game. They want to put this one away. They're in the bottom of the 7th, as their pitcher, Clayton Kershaw, at least for now, is still going to stay up at the plate off of the ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It'll also be interesting to see if they just let Kershaw go the whole way until if he starts struggling. If Kershaw does complete the game, it will be the first complete game we see in this entire tournament. But that may very well be just a bit too far ahead. Count tied up 2-2. And Kershaw reaches for that one against Tealbar. And the 4-seamer is outside, runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the foul tip, strikeout for Clayton Kershaw. Now we'll see if that's the last time we'll see him, or if he has more work to do on the mound. In the meantime, that's 1 out as we restart the lineup. And here is D. Gordon. Gordon still has yet to reach base. Popped out in the 1st, grounded out in the 2nd, flew out in the 4th. Now here we are in the bottom of the 7th, and Gordon looking to get on. He has yet to showcase that base running ability. Fastball inside for ball 2. Fastball in the dirt. And the slider veers in, and Gordon will take his base. So he's not getting on off of a base hit, but he's still getting on all the same. And like I've been saying before, and admittedly here in the booth, I've been anxious to see what D. Gordon can do with that base running ability. Leads the league in steals, almost by a sizable margin. Next up at the plate here, Hanley Ramirez. He has had no problem getting on base. He has each of his 3 times. And there goes Gordon. He's on the run, and he's already sliding in by the time the throw gets past the mound. First stolen base from D. Gordon, and it comes in the 7th inning. Again, I could not help but be giddy, and he's stealing 3rd now, and he's slid in. He's safe. He's taken 2 bases. And just like that, D. Gordon has taken the tournament lead in stolen bases in 1 at-bat. I discussed being greedy, wanting back-to-back home runs back in the last game, after Adam LaRoche and Wilson Ramos each blasted 1, which helped in their 5-2 win. But I was just anxious for 1 stolen base from D. Gordon. He's taken 2. His ability of base running already apparent. But if you really want any empirical evidence, you can take a look at the steal and speed stats on the third base inset presented to you by MLB 14, the show. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Ramirez. And Teal is looking for his second out. He was able to strike out Kershaw to start things off, but he walked Gordon, and he's struggling here with Ramirez. All he needs is one pitch, and he gets it. A strikeout number 2. So after a valiant effort by Hanley Ramirez and 2 stolen bases that puts Gordon 90 feet away, Caleb Tealbar is able to retire Hanley Ramirez for the first time today. And here is Yasiel Puig. He himself has had no trouble getting on base. He's 2 for 2 with a double and a single, and he also has a walk in the 3rd inning. He won't have Hanley Ramirez as a running mate on the bases, but Puig does have an opportunity to bat in a run. This one's fouled off. And that run could very well put the Dodgers on their way to the largest margin of victory in this entire, down to 2 outs over the fastball and a 2-1 count to Yasiel Puig. It'd be a shame to leave Gordon on base, but Tealbar is not showing any fear against these Dodger hitters. Here's the 2-1. That one outside on the slider. Needless to say, Yasiel Puig had 0 discipline at the plate, or even on the base pass, to be honest, when he first came into the league in last summer. However, he's definitely improved by leaps and bounds, and that has helped him become an all-star that he is. As a matter of fact, he's shown enough discipline to draw a walk. So it's been a binary inning for Caleb Tealbar, who just came in here in the 7th. He struck out Kershaw, he walked Gordon. He struck out Ramirez, and now he's walked Puig. But if the pattern continues, he won't have anything to worry about, as he'll strike out Gonzalez. Gonzalez has struck out twice already, once to Correia and once to Darnell. So another strikeout for Minnesota wouldn't hurt. But it's 2 outs with runners on 1st and 3rd. If Gonzalez wants to help his to a convincing win, or more convincing, he's going to have to take the bat off his shoulder and utilize that power. Foul this one off. 0-2 hole already. Keep in mind, Gonzalez has 70 RBIs, tied for 9th in the majors. He had 100 even in 2013, but again, he will come up with none here in this at-bat. He leaves runners stranded on 1st and 3rd, but D. Gordon took 2 bases. It was fun to watch, but we head into the top of the 8th with the Twins having an opportunity to strike back.
Leading off for the Twins, center fielder, number 39.
We're back at Dodger Stadium. The Twins have been behind for a while since scoring 2 runs in the 1st against Clayton Kershaw. But they are not out of it yet here in the top of the 8th. Still taking on Clayton Kershaw, who's pushing 100 pitches. This could be their opportunity to get a rally going, send Kershaw to the showers, and then antagonize whatever other pitcher comes up to the plate for the Dodgers. Comes up to the mound for the Dodgers, rather. But first things first, Danny Santana up at the plate, and Kershaw has tied up the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. That one fouls off. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Danny Santana. He has yet to get on base. He's struck out, he's flown out, and he's grounded into a double play. No time is more important to get on base than right now, but He's down to his last strike. Have to move out of the way of the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Santana. Two inside. The count is full on the fastball. Three-two fouled off. Keeps Santana alive. Can't put this one in play either. That one fouled down the first base line. Santana pops this one in the air. This is another souvenir. This time down the third baseline. And quite the duel here as we have reached the 100 pitch mark a little while ago, actually. This one's in the dirt. Kershaw draws the walk, and he now has 107 pitches. It's only a second walk of the game, but it comes at a very bad time as the Dodgers are trying to preserve a lead. And so he's done for the day. Couldn't complete the complete game. Only made it 7 innings. Well, not only. He's definitely done an amazing job in this game, but he won't be able to finish it off. So out comes Brandon Lee for the Dodgers. Brandon Lee is the setup man leading to the closer Kenley Jansen. And here's Brian Dozier. He's tied for 5th in the majors in runs scored. But he has to get on base in order to do so. He did so in the first and came home. He also reached base in the 6th after being hit on the foot with a pitch, but he wasn't able to come home on that as he was caught stealing it second shortly thereafter. Here's the first pitch from League, and he swings on it, pops up, caught by Gonzalez, and can't pull off the double play as Santana remains at first. We see it here on show motion. The bat broke, which I actually didn't notice here in the shadows. Which is not a good hit there by Dozier. He probably could have held off on another pitch or two to get something better. So that's 1 out, and now there's a twin on first here in the top of the 8th. Trevor Plouffe, he got on base with a walk. As he hits this one to Ramirez, we'll see if he can make the easy play. He can, but he cannot complete the double play. 6-4 on the putout at second. Force play at second. So that'll send Santana back to the dugout. But Plouffe will remain on first now. And here's Colabello. First pitch he sees, he hits right down the first base line and just fair, tight roping. And he'll get on with a 2-out single. So Colabello does what Plouffe meant to do, and that is advance the runner at least 90 feet. So here's Josh Willingham with 2 out and 2 of his teammates on base. He is the tying run if he can either get on base or send this one over those fences. The single by Colabello marks the 7th hit by the Minnesota Twins today. Got 3 in the first, and then have had 3 total since then, with 1 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th, and then 1 just now, and we'll make that 8. As that hit will be good enough to bring Plouffe home, and it looks like it's good enough to bring Colabello home as the throw is offline. A 2 RBI double by Josh Willingham. And the game is not in hand just yet. So Chris Perez, we'll see if he can close out the inning here for the Dodgers. And up to the plate here is Waldo Arcia. He hit an RBI single his last time up. Another one would tie the game as he knocks this one into right field against Chris Perez. That one hits against the scoreboard, and that's exactly what he'll have. Another RBI, but this time of the double variety. Make it 2. And it is tied at 5. The Twins will not be denied. So Clayton Kershaw's work undone. And here's Kurt Suzuki up at the plate. He'll take the pitch. Perez just needs one more out here. And we talked about it in the pregame. The game may have looked in hand on paper, but that's why you got to play it. The Twins making the comeback here in the top of the 8th. Suzuki has a man on second, and a well-placed ball could bring him in and give the Twins the lead. Fastball outside retires Suzuki. So the game is tied, but the Dodgers still hold the cards in their hand. 5-all from Chavez Ravine. Let's see how this one unfolds on the Coliseum Sports Network. And we're going to get a double switch here from Ron Gardenhire. Talking it over with the ump. And let Suzuki know about it. So, as you may have heard over the PA system, I'll review it for you here as Kemp comes up to the plate. He's reached on fielder's choices his last 2 times up. As I was saying before, as Jared Burton comes into the game for the Twins, he is involved in a double switch. His spot, the pitcher spot, will move to the 7 position. Meanwhile, Kurt Suzuki will be done for the game after striking out. I'm sure that's not exactly what that has to do with, just a strategic decision by Ron Gardenhire. Kemp smacks the 1-1 foul. But Eric Fryer is now in the game. You see him right there. They're calling the game here for Jared Burton. Glenn Perkins, the closer, warming up in the bullpen just in case the Minnesota can take over in the top of the 9th. The Dodgers have not scored since the 3rd. If they want to keep from being upset, they're going to need to find some offensive firepower here. It won't come from the bat of Kemp, as Willingham is able to make out number 1. Oh, this game got very interesting. 3 runs in the top of the 8th. What seemed like a foregone conclusion completely changed everything in the top of the 8th. So Kershaw's going to end up with a no decision. That just goes to show you. It'll be up to the relief pitchers to take care of business. Andre Ethier hit a home run. He was the reason that the Dodgers last scored in the third. But Ethier might need to find some new power in that bat of his. He wants to make sure the Dodgers win. We haven't seen an upset in terms of rankings since the Astros Athletic game. Pretty much ever since that first 2 days of games, we haven't seen an upset yet. So if Minnesota comes through, that'll most certainly be a shocker. This one fouled off. Ethier going for it and cannot leg out the single. And that's out number 2. Take a look at it again. Eric Fryer, new in the game, but he knows exactly what he needs to do. He's able to make the out and to rip off the mask for that one. So we get to Juan Uribe's spot, and it looks like Juan Uribe won't be there, as Justin Turner will step up to the plate for Los Angeles. Justin Turner, along with Hyun-Jin Ryu and Yasiel Puig, delivered some great news the other day, and I guess I have to hold off on that thought, as this one collected by Escobar for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down, as the Twins are trying to take care of business and get the upset here in Chavez Ravine. So we'll have to get to more of that back in the bottom of the 9th, but for now it's 5-all.
Your attention, please. This change for the Dodgers. Now playing third base, number 10, Justin.
Welcome back to Los Angeles, and we'll have another double switch.
Now in center field, number 3, Carl Crawford.
Jamie Wright coming into the game. Justin Turner coming into the game. And Carl Crawford coming into the game.
Leading off for Minnesota, shortstop, Escobar.
So Eduardo Escobar will lead off here in the top of the 9th. And the first pitch from Jamie Wright is a strike. Fastball low and inside to Escobar. And a cutter in there, 2 balls, 1 strike. Jamie Wright already behind. 3 balls, 1 strike to Eduardo Escobar. Cutter saves his life, runs the count full. So it seemed like a cheery atmosphere here at Dodger Stadium has turned a bit more tense here on trade deadline Thursday. The Dodgers are now looking to claw their way to a victory after being up by 3 runs. Swing and a miss, and Wright able to strike out Escobar for the first out. So here is the catcher, Eric Fryer, batting in the 9th spot as a result of that double switch. Remember that. Wright arcs a curveball into the mid of Ellis, and that'll be strike one. That's one fouled off. No balls, 2 strikes to Eric Fryer. Trying to get the Twins the upset here in Los Angeles. It'll be an interesting proposition. If Minnesota wins, then they can stay in Los Angeles pretty much, or remain in Southern California, because their next opponent would be the Angels in Anaheim. So this one pops back. If they are to lose, however, it's the 6th seed. They'll be taking on San Diego. They will be hosting them at home at Target Field. So you can either stay in beautiful Southern California, or you can go home to some home cooking. It almost seems like a win-win. But Wright lays down another strikeout, put the K backwards this time. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th for Jamie Wright. Here is Danny Santana to lead off the lineup for the 5th time today. Jamie Wright looking to do what Brandon League and Chris Perez, or more importantly Brandon League, could not do, and that's close out the game. If Wright is able to finish off this inning 1-2-3 or something thereabouts, and the Dodgers walk off in the bottom of the 9th, Santana have to scoot out of the way on that one, Jamie Wright would end up with the win. Funny how that sort of thing works out, especially after the dominant day that Clayton Kershaw had. He just could not close it out. Swing and a miss on the fastball, and the Twins are down to their last strike in regulation. Fastball keeps the inning alive. It's a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And this one popped up in the air, and it bounces into right field, so Santana is on, and he'll keep the inning alive. It was a close call there, but Santana knew that that one was going in the zone, and he was able to telegraph the pitch and get on for Brian Dozier. And Dozier hits this one, and it will find its way into center field. So Jamie Wright, 2 strikeouts and then gives up 2 hits. And the Dodgers are in big trouble.
Third baseman number 24, Trevor Blue.
There's a look at the 2 base runners. You got Santana at second and Dozier at first. Jamie Wright needing 1 more out here, but the Twins want to get the win here. If the Twins can pull this off, I think we'll have to have a discussion over at the Coliseum about what the bigger tournament upset has been so far. Is it the Astros over the A's? Is it the Cubs over the Tigers? And only if the Twins get the win, would the Twins over the Dodgers be a bigger one? Might be a moot point here, though. Gonzalez looks to be under this, and he's got it. So it looked really intense there, but in the end, the Dodgers are able to close things out after giving up 2 more hits. So we're into the bottom of the 9th, and we'll see if the Dodgers have some walk-off magic in them. 5-5. Catcher A.J. Ellis going to get things started here in the bottom of the 9th inning. We've seen this situation a couple of times, heading down to the bottom half of the inning with the Astros and the Athletics. We saw that the A's were unable to close out in the bottom of the 9th, but then with the Marlins and the Brewers, we saw a walk-off solo home run by Mark Reynolds, and he was the first man up in that inning as he knocked it home on the second pitch. A.J. Ellis does not possess the same type of power that you'll see out of a Mark Reynolds. As a matter of fact, heading into this tournament, he doesn't have a home run at all. They foul this one off. His slugging percentage is actually lower by almost a full 100 points of his on-base percentage. He has 346 on base, 248 slugging. So the mandate here for Ellis is probably just to get on base. He's facing the 2-2 count here, though. That one in there for a full count. Crawford is up next in the 9 spot as a result of the double switch. And Ellis at least stalls. Keep the inning alive here for A.J. Ellis against Jared Burton. But he'll go down on strikes, a K. That's the first for Burton, and that's 1 out. 5-5, 1 out, bases clear. Here's Carl Crawford coming into the game for the first time today. We'll take the Vulcan change. 2 balls, no strikes. The heat has died down a little bit. The shadows covering a pretty fair part of the field. Probably makes it at least a fraction better to see here for Carl Crawford. He's ahead 3 balls, no strikes, with D. Gordon due up next. Another changeup in there for a strike. Keeps the at-bat alive for Jared Burton. He does not want to give up a walk here to Carl Crawford. And the fastball in there for a ball. So Carl Crawford comes in as a pinch hitter and is able to draw the walk. So here's D. Gordon. He stole 2 bases. Last time he was up, he drew a walk back in the 7th, and then it was just curtains from there. Carl Crawford back in his day, not too bad at stealing bases. And is here. You see the steal and speed stats presented by MLB 13 in the show. Crawford's fast enough to do it, but he doesn't always choose to. He won't here as the changeup is in there for ball 1. And Gordon hits this one straight to Escobar. There's a play at second and the double play at first. We're heading to extras, baby, here in Southern California. See if they can take over in the 10th.
for Minnesota.
Welcome back to Los Angeles. Chris Colabello leading things off here. And he'll check swing on the first pitch he sees as he takes on Jamie Wright.
I got a ball, 1 strike.
1-1 count to Chris Colabello, who has the tendency to hit home runs at very special times in college, as well as in a game against the Rays with his mother in attendance on her birthday. He was able to hit a home run for her.
Count 1 and 2.
I'm sure the Twins would love it if Chris Colabello hit a home run for them to give them the lead. They have fought from 3 runs down. I think this just goes to show no lead is safe in baseball or the Coliseum baseball tournament. Umpire calls that a ball, much to the chagrin of the Dodgers faithful. Two-two count here to Colabello. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout from Jamie Wright, who has remained in the game and is trying to hang on. He had 2 strikeouts to start off the 9th, which is when he first came in. Then he gave up 2 hits, but he eventually popped up. Or got Trevor Plouffe to pop up, rather. He didn't do it himself. But here's Josh Willingham, 2 for 4 on the day. First pitch from Wright, a ball. And another ball, and the Dodgers fans are booing. And this one put into play into left field, so Willingham is on. 1 out single for Josh Willingham. And the bats have really gotten going here for the Twins, to be quite honest. So here's Oswaldo Arcia. He's hitting an RBI single and he's hitting an RBI double. And he's going to look for some more right here. 1 hit, no runs in the 5th. 2 hits, no runs in the 6th. Went over in the 7th. But then 3 runs on 3 hits in the 8th, and 2 hits and no runs in the 9th. So the Twins have gotten the hits going, and this is coming from one of the worst hitting teams in the majors. In the Twins, they've had trouble finding their bats. There's hope, there's some ability in there. But it's not consistent enough, at least during the regular season for the Twins. But in this type of venue, where you're just facing an opponent once, against a pitching matchup once, most likely, you just need that good day. And you need to survive in advance. A lot of the same mentality that you see in the world of college baseball or in single elimination format. In college basketball. This one flies out into left field, and the out is made. So that will force Willingham to retreat to first as Arcia flies out for the 2nd time today. So Arcia cannot help the cause. And we're now down to the pitcher spot that was switched around as part of the double switch. So the catcher, which was Kurt Suzuki, is now Eric Fryer, is batting 9th. Here in the pitcher's spot, which is now the 7th spot, as Chris Parmalee, the pinch hitter. As of late, Chris Colabello and Chris Parmalee have been switching off at the first base position, but Gardenhire went with Colabello today because he tends to against left-handed starters. But now Parmalee is taking on Jamie Wright, who has 2 outs but has a runner on base. One ball and 1 strike here to Chris Parmalee. Swing and a miss on the curveball. The Dodger Stadium crowd has thinned out somewhat, but still a large enough crowd on hand to see if they can cheer the Dodgers to a victory, which has at least eluded them so far. Jamie Wright deposits the curveball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the curveball again, and this time it runs the count full. This could be a problem if Jamie Wright cannot place that strike. The payoff pitch with a man on and 2 outs, and that one's too high. Wright cannot fool Parmalee. So another walk given up, and the Twins have a runner in scoring position. So that'll do it for Jamie Wright. He had 2 outs, but he just could not go the full 2. We'll see if J.P. Howell's the answer here in the top of the 10th. Eduardo Escobar still in the 8th spot. Hasn't moved since. This is his 5th at-bat of the game. He's still hanging on here in the lineup. He's done pretty good at short today. Actually hasn't had a whole lot of work, but when his number's been called, he has been able to deliver. Very good defensive shortstop. And we'll see if he can bring some offense here. He'll smack this one, first pitch he sees against J.P. Howell. Due up next, Eric Fryer for the 2nd time today. If Escobar can get on base. Swing and a miss on the sinker. Already in the hole. Howell trying to make quick work of Escobar and close out this inning. 2 men on, 2 men out, 2 strikes, and that one fouls off. Oh-2, smacked into right field. It will drop. And Puig misplays it. Picked up by the center fielder, and that is going to bring in 2 Twins. An RBI triple by Eduardo Escobar puts 2 runs on the board for the Twins. It is 7-5. Minnesota has come back from 3 down. And they are handling the mighty Angels here, or the mighty Dodgers, wrong Los Angeles team, the mighty Dodgers here in the top of the 10th. Here's Fryer up at the plate with Escobar at third. He's going to see if he can rub it in here with 2 outs. And that one goes just foul. Made the contact, just could not aim it. Because that could have easily tight-roped down the first base line. That could have been more trouble for the Dodgers. And Fryer strikes out on the sinker. But the Twins take 2 here in the top of the 10th. Can the Dodgers respond? We are going to find out. It's Coliseum Tournament Baseball on the Coliseum Sports Network.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Twins, number 15, Glenn Perkins.
Glenn Perkins finds himself in a save situation all of a sudden, as Jared Burton was able to hold things down in the 8th and the 9th inning. The Twins were able to take the lead in the top half of the 10th, so Perkins going to see if he can put an S next to his name. But just in case, as you see on the graphic, Casey Thien is in the bullpen. Hanley Ramirez will foul this one off. Hanley will take the 2-seamer here. 1 ball, 1 strike. That slider looked actually pretty good, but Hanley will take it. Now he's down to his last strike. And this one fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes once again to Hanley Ramirez. That one outside the zone, but he reaches for it, and Arcia able to track it down for out number 1. And so here is Yasiel Puig, who comes up to the plate. 2 for 2 today. 2 base hits, 2 walks in his 4 plate appearances. Yasiel Puig was one of 3 Dodgers to announce over that Dodger Vision video board you see in left field that Vin Scully, the long time television and radio announcer for these Dodgers, will be returning for his 66th season in 2015. That's what I was alluding to back when Justin Turner was up at the plate, seemingly so long ago. Definitely a good announcement for Dodgers fans, and just great news for everybody in baseball. One of baseball's true treasures, going to be hanging in there for 1 more year at least. But the Dodgers are looking for a win, and they're in trouble. They're going to be in danger of falling into the losers bracket. If they do, they'll be hosting the San Diego Padres, their NL West rival. And Puig knocks this one high into left field. Willingham's chasing it down at the warning track, and he's got it. Willingham had to get on his horse for that one, but he gets out number 2. So the Dodgers, if they want to get a rally, it's going to be from this guy, Adrian Gonzalez, as they are down to their last out. Gonzalez has struck out his last 3 times up in the 3rd, in the 5th, and in the 7th. And in the 1st, he grounded out. So 0 for 4 for Adrian Gonzalez, but if he wants a hit, he's going to need it here. He takes a strike from Glenn Perkins, himself an all-star. Despite the struggles of the Twins, Glenn Perkins is one heck of a closer, and he's looking to show that here against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are in the regular season first place in the NL West. However, they're 2 strikes away from falling into the losers bracket. If they do, they'll be hosting the Padres next week. It'll be part of the doubleheader that will include Miami and the White Sox. If they win, however, they will be down in Anaheim on next Friday. Two-seamer outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. Matt Kemp is due up next. As Gonzalez takes his base. So finally here in the 10th. Adrian Gonzalez gets on base, though he will still be 0 for 4 on the afternoon. So here is Matt Kemp. Hitting in the same spot, just in a different, actually in the same position, as he's in left field. Crawford took the place of Andre Ethier. So if Kemp gets on as he check swings on the inside pitch for a strike, then Crawford will be due up next. That pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Same story here for Minnesota. If they hang on to win here and get this last out, they will be over in Anaheim, so they won't have to go very far and be part of that doubleheader with Washington in Milwaukee on next Friday. If they lose, they'll be in Minneapolis hosting the Padres this time next week. It'll be interesting to see how that's scheduled. The White Sox and Minnesota are both in the same time zone. That's probably going to have to be a day-night doubleheader. 1-2 to Kemp outside for ball 2. Despite the gravity of the situation, the Dodgers have done a good job at being patient. They are not intimidated by Glenn Perkins. Actually, we haven't seen much intimidation on either side. And the count is now full. So the Twins, who were down by 3 at a point in this game, said not so fast. But the Dodgers saying not so fast. But we are down probably to the last pitch of this game. This one's crucial. Here it is. This one hit high in the air, traveling to right. Arce is under it, and we have ourselves an upset. Unbelievable. They were down 5-2 heading into the top of the 8th. They get 3 runs in the 8th, 2 runs in the 9th, and then, 3 runs in the 8th and then 2 runs in the 9th. So they took the lead 7-5, and they'll come out with the win here in 10 innings. So Minnesota, they'll probably go home, but they'll be sure to book their tickets to come right back to Los Angeles. They'll be facing the Angels next Friday. The Dodgers, they'll still be here at Chavez, but they'll be hosting the Padres in the losers bracket. Here's a look at the summary and what a game it has been. You just can't predict baseball, people. I'll tell you that much. Burton with the win, Wright with the loss, Perkins with the save. And here's a look at the player of the game for the Twins. It will be the left fielder Josh Willingham, 3 for 5 with a double and 2 RBIs. And he had a heck of a game, and a lot of it, but this matchup did not look good. Sugar-coated here, but the Twins just have the will to win. Sometimes those immeasurable intangibles just really come through when they need them the most. So Minnesota will live to see another day, and they're going to go home and host, or they're not going to go home and host in baseball. They're going to stay in Southern California, see if they can upset another Los Angeles team 8 days from now. But until then, it's been a wonderful trade deadline Thursday. So many big deals happening. So much great baseball here on the. Be sure to check me out tomorrow. Another doubleheader. Toronto at Pittsburgh and Seattle at San Francisco to round out the first round. But until then, I'm Raymond Sims saying so long from Los Angeles. The Twins pull off the upset against the Dodgers 7-5.